Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Keto Cooking. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Tom Garvey, the Keto Cook. Today, I'm going to show you how I cut up my spaghetti squash. Now, I've been using a lot of spaghetti squash lately because you know why? It's good. So what I'll do is I'll take a tea towel or a dish towel. I'll wrap it around the base of it. You got to be careful because this thing wobbles quite a bit, especially the way I'm cutting it. So I take a good heavy sharp knife, okay, and as I'm cutting it, I'm turning the blade to help it get away from the squash itself. So these are cut into rings. I will be cleaning out the seeds. I will be keeping the seeds. I like to roast them off. It tastes just like pumpkin seeds, and it's just enough. Now each ring that I'm cutting would be a portion size. Okay, I will put them into the oven. I'll roast them off. It'll get a little Tommy spice on them. Rub some olive oil on it. I'll roast them off, and we will just use what we need. The rest I will take and put into a Ziploc bag, or you can put them in a vacuum seal bag. I put them in a Ziploc bag because we use them quite a bit. So they're a good go-to if you want to make a quick dinner. A ways back, I made some shrimp in spaghetti squash, and I tell you what, just having it on hand, cook time was less than 10 minutes. So yeah. So now I'll take them. There's the seeds. I will use a little salt on there, but I'm going to be using Drunken Chef's rub, the salt, pepper, garlic, and jalapeno on the seeds. And I got to tell you what, excellent. Good handful, nice snack. Olive oil gets painted on. I tell you what, just sit back and enjoy the ride. Okay, spaghetti squash is in the oven, 350. Probably going to go for about 20 to 25 minutes. I want it to be able to pull apart like I normally make it. But this time I'm going to be adding some pork chops, thinly cut pork chops. They call them. They're boneless. They call meat now anything they want to. But this is very thin. I'm going to be pounding these out, cut them up real thin, and I'm going to brown them up. I also have some of the pork demi-glaze that I had made put into the freezer. I also have some better than bouillon chicken base. And I also have some chicken broth. So I'm going to be making pork and spaghetti squash soup. Yep, you can do it. It's great. Tastes really good. Stick around. Okay, got that pan heating up a little bit. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this pork demi-glaze. This is why I like using this stuff and freezing it. I mean, it gelled up really nice, freezes up good. Now, you can get away with not using the whole thing, but I am. I'm going to use it. I want flavor. And then I'm going to let that melt down a little bit. Let me get my trusty plastic fork. A spoon. I can't talk. Okay, this don't require a lot of energy here. You see it has some some residuals that are in here. So what I'm going to do is, now I didn't have enough left of this bouillon, so what I did was I just added some warm water to it, and I'm going to add this and let that cook down a little bit more. That spoon won't fit in there. Try to get my brush in here, get it all out, get everything out of it, because I know somebody who wants the jar. Now, don't really have to cook this down too much, because it was already cooked once. I just want to heat it up and use it. Now I'm going to be putting in this. I'm going to pour out nice, don't splash all over the place. Just put a little bit of hole in it. Okay, just going to let this come up to temperature, and then I'm going to shut it off, because the star of the show is inside the oven. Okay, pork chops are out of the saute pan. Just gonna move them up to the side here. You still see they're screaming hot. And like I said, didn't want to overcook them. See some of the juice right there coming out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them, cut them in half, and some of it might still be a little pink inside. That's fine, because they're going back into the soup. And I'm gonna do is just slice these down as thin as I can. Okay, slice up the pork kind of thin into little bite-sized pieces. I'm going to put that in there. I shut it off because I don't want to overkill and make it too salty, the broth itself. So I'm just going to let them cook in there until the spaghetti squash is done. I'm going to take the pork out. Okay, I'm going to put the spaghetti squash in, and then I'm going to use an immersion blender and blend it all together, and then put the pork back in, and that'll be the soup. Okay, spaghetti squash, this looks to be the thickest, the biggest one. So I'm going to pull it into the bowl. I'm going to show you what we're doing here. Okay, this joke is still a little hot. Now, normally when I do this, I like to give it a lot of olive oil in it, but being that I'm going to put it in to the soup, doesn't make any sense to do it that way. Now, the rest of these are going to get cooled off, put into a bag. I think this time I'm going to leave them on the ring and just pack them away into the freezer, especially now for the winter time coming here. We'll be able to take them and take two out. Usually what we do is we usually cut one up, and that's usually right there, serving size for us. Okay, so you just peel it off. Okay. There we go. All right, so as you can see, this is starting to come up to a little bit of a little rolling boil there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this in. Now you can see how this comes out. Sorry for the noise. And then we're going to leave that right there, because we're going to let this come to a boil. I'm going to hit it with the immersion blender, and then I'm going to take another of these ends, and I'll use them for our little bit of make it mimic macaroni. All right, we'll come back when this thing is ready to roll. Okay, very hot. Doesn't have to be too long. You can see it's got a little boil going. And that sit like that for a minute and see if we get everything. Yes. Now it's not going to thicken it up a lot, but it's going to give it a nice, great flavor. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put this back in. Yeah, I just took one. Into the pan like that. Let this come up to temperature. A little bit more. And we're getting ready to eat. Now, what I do is, with the ends, we have a little bit more that's going to go in. Just go into here to give it that noodle look. Okay, this soup is done. So, give you a little idea what we're doing here. This is a spaghetti squash with pork, and I made it with chicken broth, also with a pork demi-glaze that I had made from ribs and Chinese 5-spice, a whole bunch of other stuff. So this is emptying out at the freezer actually, and I picked up some little pork, they call them boneless pork chops. They're just them cut from the other end of the pork loin. Now you can see how thick this is when this come out. It's not too thick, but it's a good hearty soup, and it's got a great flavor. Okay, all right, let me see this thing steaming right here. This joker's hot. A little piece of pork on here. Come on, baby. Yeah, try a little bit. Yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, this is delicious. Come on, winner. I'm ready for you with this. Wow, what a taste. Hey, do it yourself. Do it at home. Take the ingredients, put it together, make it your own way. I'm Tom Garvey, the Keto Cook. Talk to you next time.